Welcome back to the show. That was
Hi, how
actually
you
pretty
doing?
good.
Yeah,
timing.
right. That's really good timing.
I kept thinking
right?
it was gonna pop on there.
No, we're fine. We're fine. Nothing to worry about.
So, great start for the day.
Pretty good
Would like
start.
to give a shout out to. You want to give a shout out? You have the list.
Yes. Hold on. Let me get the list.
I think this is like the biggest group of people we've had since the conception of the show, all here at the same time.
This is important, man. This is the first time I've ever gotten to give a shout out.
Yeah, give a shout out. Give a shout out.
Okay, so shout outs to Supa, broke my stream deck. I actually don't know how to say that one. Eat Sale?
I'm
gonna say Eat Sale. Hades Osiris, I Can't Control It, not a Mr. Beast contest. Spazzy P254 official.
That's official.
That is official. Sticks Fix and Underworld Naiad.
Yeah, Naiad.
Naiad?
Welcome to the show. Also, I want to give a shout out to all the people that are watching and not logged on, and of course, all you folks that watch this after we've gone to bed and moved on to playing other games and such.
Yeah.
Or gone to it like we should be in bed, but still playing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. We're having a pretty good week this week for us. I don't know what it's like out there in the rest of the world, but like the last couple of weeks has been like super hot and humid.
Yes.
Okay. So it's my understanding that it can be like super hot here, and it can also be even hotter somewhere else. But because somewhere else doesn't have humidity, it doesn't feel as hot. And the reason is your body, when you sweat, I guess, when it evaporates is what makes you cooler. And if the humidity in the air is too high, the sweat on your body can't evaporate, and it keeps you hot. Like your body doesn't cool off. So if you go to a naturally dry atmosphere and it's warm, even though it's like maybe 10 or 15 degrees warmer, you don't feel as hot because your body is actually cooling itself off more efficiently.
Science Andy over here.
Science Andy?
Science Andy. You take a biology course? What's going on here, bud?
Just call me
spouting out all
Digital
the
Nye.
Digital Nye.
Digital Nye. The Science Andy.
The Science Andy.
That's not going to get me sued.
Yeah, no, that's not going to get
me
you sued at all. Perfectly within legal domain, I'm sure.
This week, it's significantly cooler.
Yes.
And I've been doing, I do walking.
Yeah.
And so walking around at night or like in the afternoon or whatever right now, it's actually really nice outside. And so I kind of just put in my earplugs or earbuds, I guess.
I mean, hey, you don't want to hear nothing.
I want to hear myself breathing heavy.
You want to just hear my heartbeat.
When I walk for 6 miles, I don't want to hear.
Yeah, no, I just want to hear the impending heart attack that I'm going to give myself.
So I went to the trail like 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm hiking. And instead of like walking on the main trail, I went like up in like, climbing around the hard trails.
Yeah.
Not actually physically climbing, but going up and down hills.
Yeah.
I was coming down this hill, and I moved over to the easy trail, and I'm just like chilling, right?
Just
walking.
relaxing.
So this old dude with this farmer's hat thing.
Okay.
Waits till he's like literally right behind me. He goes, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, I almost peed myself. I mean, I jumped.
Yeah, it happens.
I turned around in this defensive thing, and he jumped back. But I mean, say hi or make some noise beforehand. Now, in my defense, I was listening to a book.
Yeah.
I truly was.
He had earbuds in.
But he comes up within like, I mean, he was invading that personal bubble that everybody has when you don't know somebody. Like, this is cool for us, but this is not cool for a total stranger.
If you don't know somebody.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. And he was inside my personal bubble while we were walking in the woods. And then, I mean, you think weird stuff like,
This
serial killer.
This poor man with a farmer's hat. He's going to get me.
I was going to beat him into the ground.
No, don't beat up the poor old man.
Yeah.
It's so not a good thing to do.
Anyway, watch out for that if you're walking. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Maybe only put in one earbud, but it's kind of nice having two. You turn the volume up and you're like immersed in the book.
Isn't the point to be immersed in nature when you're hiking?
Nah.
I suppose if you're listening to a book about nature.
Yeah, I wasn't, but not really. It was more of a book about action and adventure. I'm an action adventure type of a
Yeah.
man. Yeah. And speaking of action and adventure,
Speaking of action and adventure.
It's National All or Nothing Day.
I guess I gotta start streaming again.
That's a tough.
I don't think I get an option now.
That's right.
I-
Either do it or don't.
Just stayed off of Twitch for almost 2 months now. I don't think I get an option as to whether or not I want to stream.
So National All or Nothing Day. We have. It says, this is the quote right from the webpage. Celebration each year on July 26th, National All or Nothing Day allows people to throw caution to the wind and go for broke. So if you've never tightrope walked before, don't start with the 3 inches off the ground. You stretch that thing across
Grand
two skyscrapers and you walk.
Grand
All or
Canyon.
nothing. Throw caution to the wind.
Throw caution. It's like the Warfare Guard. Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Okay, we all have dreams. We hold back decisions left to make or plans uncompleted. On this day, people break free of everything holding them back. Everyone has at least one thing that they would like to overcome, need to do, or want to do, but might be fearful or hesitant to do so. This is the day to go ahead and do it and take that first step and go for it. So carpe diem, people, all or nothing. I'm not going to read the rest of this because this is like a novel, but whoa, okay. Anything you'd like to add?
How do wait, what does this say? How do you observe national all or nothing?
Make a decision. That's the hardest part.
That's fair.
Take a step. A very careful step if you're tightrope walking, okay?
That's also fair.
And while you're at it, let family and friends know about your determination to make some changes. Let them know on social media posting, hashtag National All or Nothing Day to get them involved too. I wouldn't recommend that one.
That one isn't possible for me.
Positive friends who support you, let them know. Family, they're probably going to make fun of you. Maybe hold back on that.
I definitely would. 100%.
Supportive friends. So today is also National Aunts and Uncles Day.
You got an aunt or an uncle?
Yeah, I'm not reading that one. I mean, that seems pretty self-explanatory. If you got a national aunt and uncle, maybe do something for them. National Bagel Fest Day.
I was reading that from this angle, and I thought someone had really messed up spelling baguettes.
So close to us, a little ways north of here, there is a corn boil, which actually is pretty good. And I think it got canceled or rained out or something happened or whatever. But I heard some people kind of complaining about that today. So
Okay.
if you missed the corn boil in your local, or you have some kind of other festival that you're close by to and you somehow missed that, grab a bagel, fest yourself out.
That might be
National Bagel Fest Day.
one of the strangest things I've ever heard. Corn boil.
Corn boil?
I've never heard of that in my life.
You get like hundreds of people or thousands.
Okay.
They all stand in line. They have these giant, huge vats of water. They just throw corn in that all comes from locally sourced farms, right? So the
Okay.
farm is within like 10 miles of wherever
Yeah.
this event is. They produce a whole bunch of sweet corn, which is in season right now. They throw them in there. They boil the snot on the corn.
Okay.
You go through the line and they tong it onto your plate, and then they look at you. They're like, "Do you want butter?" And if they do, they baptize it in a vat of butter, and then
They
put it
just
in your plate.
pick up. You want
Just
butter?
boom,
Just pick up
boom.
a bug, like one of those sports coolers they dump on coaches at
Yeah.
the end of football games. Just dump it.
But instead of wiping it on there, they literally just dip the whole thing in the butter. They'll put it on your plate, or you can do it like there's like a Mexican style where they put like a mayonnaise and then like a cheese or something on it. You can get different kinds of it. I'm sure they have like a Cajun seasoning
queso
or
fresco type of thing?
whatever. You could probably go and get like 15 different types of flavored corn or prepared differently corn.
I do like corn.
Yeah, and it's only like a couple bucks for a thing. Go there, support your local farms, and eat out. That has nothing to do with Bagel Fest.
Nothing to do with Bagel Fest, but now you know.
Now you know. There's also National Coffee Milkshake Day.
What?
Coffee milkshake. It's like coffee in the morning, milkshake at the end of the day when you're done with your workout and you've burned too many calories. And you combine the two together to make a coffee milkshake.
Speaking of coffee, I have officially found a coffee I enjoy.
Okay?
I'm upset about it. Because I don't want to like I don't like the taste of coffee,
Okay.
but I also just don't want to get hooked on coffee
I don't want to get hooked.
at the same time. So it's really convenient that I hate the taste of coffee. However, an iced caramel macchiato with French vanilla creamer
Yeah.
was really good,
Yeah.
and it upsets me.
Yeah. I can see how coffee would be like a gateway drug, into something more intense. But
Right?
But I can't say anything because if I don't have coffee in the morning, I'm a different person.
And if you spill your coffee in the afternoon,
I'm a really different person. I'm a really different person. Give a shout out to Alice Wydra. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Alice. Anything you got?
we said nothing about bagels.
Oh,
We didn't say a single thing about
eat a bagel.
bagels.
You can do the cream cheese plain, the flavor cream cheese. They have like some kind of a salmony something spread. They have
The everything spread.
the everything spread or the everything bagel. They actually have like fruity bagels, like mandarin bagels. They have raisin bagels. They have blueberry bagels. Grab a bagel or two or more. Slather it with butter, like if you missed the corn boil, and have at it.
So, funnily enough, speaking of bagels,
That's how we got to say.
funnily enough, Cards Against Humanity, which is a game that you will never see on this show in the first place. Cards Against Humanity, we learned yesterday, one of their expansion boxes is called the Everything Bagel box. And it just has a picture of an Everything Bagel on it.
I'm scared to think of what's in there.
Well,
but-
we bought it, we played it yesterday, and I can't tell you what's in
Okay.
there.
All right. Well, speaking of fiery,
The fiery passion that it takes to continue running a game such as Cards Against Humanity amidst all the media backlash.
yeah, there were quite a few people
Okay.
that happened to see a giant flaming fireball in Texas, in the Texas sky.
So,
Yeah, welcome to the good news part of our program.
the Phoenix Lights.
So, a giant fireball lit up the Texas sky this last I think it's this last Sunday or the Sunday. It might have been the Sunday before. Wait, did we have a show last week?
Yes.
Okay, this last Sunday.
Okay, so 2 days ago.
2 days ago, a giant fireball lit up the Texas sky, and here is a picture of it. Oh, that's gonna mess me up.
And say that's really gonna mess. That's good. If that doesn't mess you
Yeah.
up, it's gonna mess me up, and that's not good for either of us.
According to the American Meteor Society, more than 200 people reported seeing the object, an unusually large and bright meteor as it flew through the atmosphere at 10:52 p.m. local time in Texas. I don't know what time zone that is. I think it was like the western side. So several witnesses near the flight path reported hearing a delayed sonic boom, indicating that meteorites from this fireball may have survived down to the ground. The organization says people in Louisiana and Oklahoma also reported seeing the fireball.
That's gotta be a big
Yeah.
one.
The fireball people saw streaking across the skies in Texas was an unusually large meteor. Surprisingly, or like we like to say, funnily enough,
Funnily enough,
most meteors are very small, roughly the size of a grain of sand. And when a meteor the size of a softball or a grapefruit burns through the Earth's atmosphere, it can produce as much light as the full moon, but only for a few seconds.
well, hello.
This one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get to it, is much, much, much bigger than that. The American Meteor Society says last night's fireball was as much, much, much bigger than that.
Wow.
According to their initial estimates, the meteor was probably the size of a small car before it entered the atmosphere and started burning up.
So a Ford Focus from space.
If you've ever been behind one of those early model electric cars down the road that burst into flames and started throwing parts off, it was basically like that.
Worst way to put that.
The initial computer-generated trajectory shows that this fireball entered the atmosphere over Cistern, Texas, which is an awful name, and its flight ended just a few miles west of Austin. The organization says since many people reported hearing a sonic boom that shortly after the fireball appeared in the sky, it's possible that pieces of the meteor survived the journey and struck the Earth. fireballs. Aren't that usual? But most of them aren't seen by humans. That's because they appear in the sky above oceans or uninhabited pieces of land. So many sky watchers saw Sunday night's fireball because it was visible from several large cities, including Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio. It's no surprise that the fireball appeared when it did. That's because 3 separate meteor showers are fast approaching. The southern Delta Aquariids, the Alpha Capricornids will peak later this week, and the Perseids will be fully displayed during the second week of August.
Why is everything in an ids? You got
I was trying to think of something that would end in ids, but all I could come up with is lipids, but I don't think that's really does. Because if they don't, the Meteor Society people are livid.
That's fair. That is fair.
Okay. We have like a couple of atmospheric events for this particular show. This is one of them.
Stars?
Not this next thing, but there is a thing going on later that's really, really cool. It I think freaked out a lot of people, but it ended up being kind of a funny story. We'll get to that. So we can say funnily enough a lot.
Funnily enough.
And I would like to see a meteor the size of a car enter the atmosphere in such a way that it makes a giant flaming ball, streak across the sky. That's just something that I think I would like to see with my own eyes.
We can probably make one of those. We can probably just coat a giant ball in something, light it on fire, and then trebuchet.
I think that Elon Musk should send up a SpaceX probe with an actual car and just launch it.
Drop a Tesla car from space.
Just launch it into the atmosphere and watch it just come down.
The new model, not only does the Cybertruck have bulletproof windows, it doesn't burn up in the Earth's atmosphere.
That's right. This car is so hot, it's literally on fire.
That is fair.
Yeah. Anyway, the next article is kind of just neat to me. Maybe it isn't to other people, but, it's kind of nice being... Ooh, I don't know why I put that on here.
I mean, it's a cool picture.
You should have told me I had the wrong picture.
So I thought you had something.
Okay, I did. I just realized that I had this pushed the wrong button there.
I thought you had like a grand plan. I just wanted to see it happen.
No. This big star thing behind me has absolutely nothing to do with space whatsoever, or atmosphere, or whatever. And I see how we could have possibly segued into there. But this is actually some scientists captured the first ever view of a hidden quantum phase in a 2-dimensional crystal.
What?
Yeah.
I failed algebra, so I definitely don't know quantum physics.
Well, that's what this picture is. Sorry, folks, for the it wasn't a computer glitch. It was me. I pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, it's not like misconception or...
Yeah. Thanks for getting my back and rolling. Misinput. User error.
Yeah, user error.
The development of high-speed strobe flash photography in the 1960s by the late MIT professor Harold Doc Edgerton allowed us to visualize events too fast for the eye, like a bullet piercing an apple or a droplet hitting a pool of milk. Now, using a suite of advanced spectroscopic tools, scientists at MIT and the University of Texas at Austin have, for the first time, captured snapshots of a light-induced metastable phase hidden from the equilibrium universe.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
I feel like there's a quote from the guy from Ghostbusters, and I fail to grasp it right now, but it fits in here somewhere.
What, from Egon? Because he was the science one.
Yeah. And I'll get to it. It'll come to me probably. So anyway, by using single-shot spectroscopy. By using single-shot techniques on a 2D crystal with nanoscale modulations of electron density, they were able to view this transition in real time. So that's what we're looking at kind of up here. So you can see there's a different change in the middle versus the stars and stuff all around it.
So, are we looking at atoms?
Well, okay, so with this work, we're showing the birth and evolution of a hidden quantum phase induced by an ultra short laser pulse in an electronically modulated crystal, says Frank Gao, PhD.
There are way too many big words
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
both of us.
So it's like a crystal, the laser hits it, and they're seeing like a quantum phase shift.
So what we're seeing here
Is the actual crystal itself is shifting into a quantum phase briefly for when it's hit by the laser.
because the phase is being induced by the laser piercing the crystal.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think that the crystal would be affected, but it is.
We do not.
Yeah, because it happens. It happens so fast. So usually shining lasers on materials, and this is the same as heating them, but not in this case. One of the co-lead authors wrote, here, irradiation of the crystal rearranges the electronic order, creating an entirely new phase different from the high temperature ones. So the outside is the high temperature. The inside, you can see they're all kind of broke apart. So a paper on this research was published today in the Science Advances. This was a few days ago. The project was jointly coordinated with Keith A. Nelson, the Haslam and Dewey Professor of Chemistry at MIT, and Edoardo Baldini, an Assistant Professor of Physics at UT Austin. Understanding the origin of such metastable quantum phases is important to address long-standing fundamental questions in non-equilibrium thermodynamics. Yeah.
This is getting complicated.
Complicated. Well, the key to the result was the development of a state-of-the-art laser method that can make movies of irreversible processes in quantum materials with a time resolution of 100, and I don't know what a femtosecond is, but this is going to probably lead into I can see this working inside like very advanced computers down the road. You know what I mean? Like nanotech. If they can get it, because a lot of the computers that are gonna break through all the new encryptions and stuff now are actually the quantum computers, but they're just too big to do anything.
Okay, so a femtosecond is a unit of time equal to 10 to the negative 15th power of a second. On 100,000 million. So it's one quadrillionth of a second.
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of difference.
That makes a whole lot of difference, and a whole more lot of zeros.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm going to skip through some of this, but Nelson says one of the key challenges is that observing an ultra-fast transformation from one electronic order to one may persist indefinitely is not practical with conventional time resolve techniques. So they can't see it. They've never been able to see this before. So capturing the dynamics of this complex phase transformation in a single shot measurement, the authors demonstrated that the melting and the reordering of the changed density wave leads to the formation of a hidden state. Theoretical calculations by
Best of luck.
Zizhuan Sun, a Harvard Quantum Institute postdoc, confirmed this interpretation. So while the study was carried out with one specific material, the researchers say the same methodology can now be used to study other exotic phenomena in quantum materials. This discovery may also help with the development of optoelectronic devices with on-demand photo responses.
Yeah, it really sounds like at one point you're just going to start going off about 1.21 gigawatts and one.
So the end of this is basically the big words at the end is saying that this find is going to definitely help us with like heads-up display, wearable contact lenses.
Okay, now you have my attention.
Yeah. The development of optoelectronic devices with on-demand photo responses.
Okay, so it's AR. It's just working towards AR.
It could be, yeah. It could be. So let's go back to the right thing. So it's complicated, but it makes me excited just because we've kind of like our ability to create better, faster software is being limited now by the technology that we possess. You know what I mean? The games and stuff now that come out, the number one thing that people complain about, gamers complain about, is a new game comes out, but my rig can't support it, right? That's the thing.
3090, baby, let's go.
Yeah. But in all reality, security systems, advanced AI, smart homes, and all that other stuff, all the software updates, like you get a phone, and nothing changes on your phone, right? You use your phone, and down the road, 2 or 3 years down the road, it gets slow. It has nothing to do with the software that you have on the phone. What happens is all the updates for the software that makes the software better, more efficient, is taxing the phone's hardware. So we're being limited by the amount of hardware that we have. So moving our technology to a quantum type of a technology will transcend that limitation, and we'll be able to do much, much more with what I guess we don't have it now because there are no personal quantum computers, but it's coming.
It's coming. Give it like 30 years.
Yeah. So, we have any new viewers?
That's an excellent question.
I don't want to leave anybody out. So real quick, we did. Lurks. Welcome back to the show, Lurks. Thanks for watching. He wasn't on earlier, right?
No.
Yeah.
Lurks, big man.
Give a shout out. So my next one's actually a pretty cool article. It's kind of neat. This polar bear was rescued after getting its tongue stuck in a tin can.
How do you do that?
And then it went and asked for help from humans.
How do you do that?
You know that one kid every year at school that sticks their tongue to the icy pole?
Yes.
Wait, were you that kid? Because I was.
Yes. I got
I tried to get mine stuck because I heard that if you get your tongue stuck and you produce enough warm saliva, you can unstick it, which isn't necessarily true.
I don't know what I did. I was maybe 7 or 8, and there we had a railing outside. There's a front railing out the front door, and I just slapped my tongue right on the top of that railing. So I had, instead of a pole which is round, it's just all flat. It was a railing that's at a little triangle shape. So my tongue was just stuck at a triangle angle for about 10-15 minutes.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, this little guy, a polar bear up in northern Russia, sought help from humans after getting his tongue stuck in a jagged can and was saved from starvation to death by a specialist team that made a 2,000-mile rescue dash. So the 2-year-old bear was spotted wandering up to homes in Dixon, a settlement in the Arctic, making it clear it needed some help after its tongue became lodged in a sharp-edged condensed milk container, reported Mail Online. Footage showed the distressed bear approaching one resident who had been standing on his porch in Dixon, northern Russia, reported the Mirror. The man attempts to remove the can from the polar bear's mouth, but it's wedged too deeply. The bear got so exhausted with the can, it was coming to us and sticking its tongue out, one resident said per the Mirror. A rescue team of experts was dispatched from Moscow Zoo, 2,125 miles away, to save the bear from a slow, agonizing death. Fortunately, the Moscow Zoo specialists were able to reach the emaciated young bear in time. Reuters reports that the team tranquilized her, carefully removed the can from her mouth with pliers, and treated her mouth cuts with antibiotics, which were not serious.
That's good.
Yep. The anesthesia, the bear who was under anesthesia, was then flown 50 miles by helicopter to a release area and laid carefully on the tundra. The Moscow Zoo team also left a feast of about 100 pounds of fish for her when she woke, to help her recover from days without food. So they just left like a huge smorgasbord.
Just mountain.
Yeah. I can imagine the bear waking up and being like, I wanted cod. Yeah.
She was like, salmon.
Forget that. Forget that. It's a bear cub, female, about 2 years old. The tin got stuck and its lid clamped down on the tongue. The animal spent a few days with the tongue stuck and the tongue became swollen. The bear was unable to drink or eat. We successfully sedated her, removed the tin, gave antibiotics and anti-inflammatory medications. Mikhail Alshinetsky, The chief vet of the Moscow Zoo said per the Mail Online. This week, scientists have raised concerns about polar bears losing their natural habitat to global warming and are reduced to having to scavenge trash from human settlements. So, the cool thing is the animal is like stuck, but it's smart enough to be like, hey, these hairless monkeys can probably help me.
These big, tall, hairless monkeys.
So I just see this polar bear just like walking up. Now, if a polar bear approached my front porch, I'd probably freak out a little bit. I might just go inside. But the bear's like, opens his mouth.
He like stands on his hind like,
So, there you go.
Perfect.
There you go. Next one is really cool. There used to be like this old show. I don't know if you ever saw it. Doogie Howser?
No.
You ever hear of Doogie Howser?
Yes.
You have heard of Doogie Howser.
Have heard of Doogie Howser. Never seen Doogie Howser.
This 13-year-old girl just became the youngest person accepted to medical school.
All right.
13, accepted to medical school. There's a real life Doogie Howser and the next American medical phenom. After graduating from high school last year, Elena Anali Wicker has been accepted into medical school at just 13 years old. Wicker, who is currently a junior and studying at two different universities, Arizona State University and Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, has been accepted into the University of Alabama's Hersink School of Medicine for 2024. After getting her admission letter, Wicker took to social media to express her excitement. Today, I'm just grateful. I graduated high school last year at 12 years old, and here I am 1 year later. I've been accepted into med school at 13, she wrote on Instagram. I'm a junior in college. Statistics would have said I would never have made it. A little black girl adopted from Fontana, California. I've worked so hard to reach my goals and live my dreams. Wicker credited her mother for helping her achieve such an amazing achievement. Mama, I made it. I couldn't have done it without you. You gave me every opportunity possible to be successful. You cheered me on, wiped my tears, gave me Oreos when I needed comfort. You never allowed me to settle, disciplined me when I needed. The teen said, you are the best mother a kid could ever ask for. Mama, I made it. You always believed in me. You allowed me space to grow and make mistakes without making me feel bad. You allowed me the opportunity to experience the world. In an interview with the Washington Post, Wicker's mother, Daphne McWhorter, said she noticed her daughter was very smart early on. Elena was gifted, she said. It was just how she did things and how advanced she was. She was reading chapter books. After being bullied in school, Wicker was homeschooled for several years before returning in the 5th grade. By that time, she was already taking advanced high school classes at home. During the early days of the pandemic, Wicker decided to increase her workload to pass the time. I was bored, she told the Washington Post. The high school work was so easy for me that I ended up graduating from high school at 12. Wicker filled her days with extra classes, easily devouring each lesson. I love school, I love learning, I love reading, she explained. In addition to breezing through school, Wicker created Brown STEM Girl and to encourage more black girls to get into science and technology careers. We're showing the world that there's other girls out there that are just like me, and they deserve an opportunity and a chance, she said. While she spends a lot of time focusing on advancing her education, Wicker says she's also just like any other teen. I'm still a normal 13-year-old, she said. I just have extremely good time management skills and I'm very disciplined. She also addressed those who say she's too young to be advancing so quickly in her education and career. What is age, she said. You're not too young to do anything. I feel I have proven that to myself, and I can do anything that I put my heart and my mind to. I'm thinking that, like, if this girl can get through the classes, learn the classes, memorize the classes, taking double, triple, whatever workloads, I want her as a doctor. I'm just saying. If you can time management that, you can handle a caseload. You know what I mean? So, and keep it all straight.
I didn't even make it past being a freshman in college. I've dropped out of college twice.
Wow. That's just overachiever.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Overachiever. Well.
Yeah, good for her. She's got work ethic.
Yeah, I really like that. My next one's actually a pretty cool thing. It's like one of those hero stories, right?
Okay.
A postal worker hears this 6-year-old girl's cries from inside her vehicle and saves her after her mother passed out.
Okay.
I feel like mailmen have gotten a bad rap over the years. It's kind of like salesmen, right? Car salesmen. Uh, I was in sales like for a long time, and salesmen are just like snake oil charmers or whatever. You know what I mean? They just got a bad rap. Like a car salesman, they're like, oh, all car salesmen are bad. You know, aren't there jokes? How do you know if a car salesman is lying to you? His lips are moving.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when is a car salesman not lying to you? When you're sleeping, stuff like that. So mail people are you know, there's a term. They went postal.
That's fine.
Right?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not necessarily postal worker that went postal, but you got that. So a Colorado mail carrier is being hailed a hero after he rescued a 6-year-old girl from inside a parked car after her mother took some fentanyl and passed out. Yeah, fentanyl, not a good idea, just
Yeah,
for the
wait a
record.
minute,
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Andrew Russell, a mail carrier with United States Postal Service, was walking his normal mail route on July 16th when he heard the girl screaming. I noticed the car was pulled off on the side of the road, Russell told KDVR. There was a funny noise, almost like an engine was revving, and then I heard a child's voice that sounded pretty hysterical. So the second I heard it, I just immediately ran over. He said he was able to get the girl out of the vehicle and immediately called 911. She was saying, like, my mommy's dead. He said my mommy wasn't moving. So, of course, the child was obviously freaked out. I mean, you're 6 and you really don't know, all of a sudden your parent passes out or something. It's kind of it's got to be detrimental to a 6-year-old.
Fair enough.
According to the Wheat Ridge Police Department, the girl's mother, Ashley Figures, 25, had taken fentanyl pill and then attempted to drive to the home of a family member. As she was driving, she got tired and pulled to the side of the road where she essentially passed out. Wheat Ridge Police Department Public Information Officer Joanna Small tells People, I don't know if she could get out of the car or if she was just terrified, but she knew she didn't know what to do. She says she thought her mom, didn't survive. So she spotted the mail carrier, and that's when she yelled for help. Russell said hearing the child's cries caused him to immediately react. According to KDVR, Russell said, I have a little girl of my own, so it definitely hit a chord that way. She said thank you a couple of times, and yeah, it meant the world to me that she was okay. Small said that by the time the officers arrived, the girl's mother was awake. She was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs, possession of a controlled substance, and child abuse. We hope she gets better, Small says. It's not a lost cause, despite the fact that she's being charged. We know she loves her daughter. She made a terrible decision that could have been much worse. There is help for her, there are resources for her, and we hope she takes advantage of them she can turn her life from. The child is staying with a family member, according to Small. Small says the department is forever grateful for Russell. We are a suburb of Denver, says Small. It is a very tight-knit community, very supportive community, and if it wasn't for people like him, we don't know what would have happened. The girl is safe. Her mom didn't overdose, and we're incredibly grateful for his actions. So, real life hero. I know that officers are supposed to carry the it's not an EpiPen, but what's the drug overdose thing? I feel like mail carriers should carry them now too. I can't think what it's called.
Not epi. No, because I thought epinephrine, and that's just epi.
Yeah, it's not epinephrine, but it's
Because I have them, I think.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my next article is pretty cool too.
Okay.
This D-Day pilot just turned 102. So the best part about this is what he attributes to, because everybody who lives to be 100, you ask them, what's your secret, right? Who's the oldest? Like the queen? She's like 500 or 600 years old or something like that, right?
5,000 or 6,000. That lady suplexed dinosaurs for food. When
I
she
feel
was a
like
kid.
she can outlive the Twinkies.
Yeah.
Okay. So they said to this 102-year-old, what do you attribute your longevity to? And he says, art, music, good food, and fine wine.
I've done 3 of those 4.
That's right, because you don't like art. Oh!
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just kidding. A D-Day pilot celebrated turning 102, and he attributes his longevity partly to a love of fine wine, among other pleasures. Harry Gamper, who turned 102 on July 20th, missed his 100th birthday party due to a lockdown, but made sure he had double the fun this year.
Exactly how he should.
War hero and father of 2. Harry served as an RAF pilot in World War II and won medals for his service in France and Germany, including a Battle of Atlantic medal. During his time in the RAF, Harry completed over 1,000 hours of flying time, taking the reins of Warwick's, Wellington's, and Catalina flying boats, and left the Air Force in 1946. Harry had an Italian-themed birthday party in memory of his late wife, Annalisa, who he enjoyed sun-soaked holidays in Italy with. I would like to enjoy sun-soaked holidays in Italy.
You just go to Italy.
And fine wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Italy
and good food.
Italy has a lot
and
of
good food.
both.
Good food, fine wine, sun-soaked holidays. Life is beautiful, and I've always lived it to the full, Harry said. I love art, music, good food, and the finest wine. All of these things and the people around you are what matter most in life.
This man's like, see this bottle right here?
Yep.
Yeah? $300,000. Finest wine.
Girl. I look forward to my Italian feast. I looked forward to my Italian feast and maybe a sing-along to some traditional Italian music. He was born in Surrey on July 20th, 1920. The Battle of the Atlantic was the longest military action during the war and lasted from 1939 right up to the final months in 1945, during which time 175 RAF fighters were shot down in anti-submarine sorties. After retiring, Harry moved to a cottage in the village of Strayton, Ayrshire, in the late 2000s, where he took up gardening and enjoyed the proximity to the coast. Harry described his D-Day memories as incredible. I'll never forget it. For a whole week before D-Day, nobody was allowed to take off the aerodrome, so something big was going to happen, he said. The English Channel was extraordinary. I think you could have almost walked across the channel because every boat was across it. So just like a living piece of, it's like a living history book, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be like, to know like what a person has experienced and seen in like 100 years, I mean, is amazing.
That's fair.
Where you're like I can remember cassette tapes. I don't remember 8-tracks.
I can remember cassette tapes.
Yeah.
I can remember floppy disks.
This guy might not remember, might remember no electricity. You know what I mean?
Candlelit dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Owl House. Or, I don't know.
The first car.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. 100 years. So,
So funnily enough, that man in the picture that we just put away, the man
I'll put
on the right, he's bending over there. He's wearing the blue shirt.
Yep.
I own those shoes. That's the first thing I saw when this picture came up. I own those shoes.
A little piece of history there for you, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Well, you know what you can do in those shoes?
What?
Garden.
Probably.
And speaking of gardening,
gardening
can lift your mood, even if you've never done it before and have no mental health issues. So if you're not depressed and not, experiencing problems, you can still be better than you are now just gardening for the first time, even if you don't know how to do it. Yep. It's like a win-win-win, no-lose scenario.
Explain.
Explain. Well, there's a deep satisfaction that arises from tending a garden, so deep that it can enliven those who don't need to be, and even those who don't know how, a new study shows. A pilot randomized controlled trial of indoor group-based gardening courses were compared with art classes as a way to see if the moods of healthy women with no history of prescriptions for depression or anxiety could be improved. It is not every day that a study looks at healthy women with no symptoms of anxiety, depression, or mood swings, but if an effect can be observed scientifically, where the margin for improvement is the slimmest, that suggests that robust potential for those in whom the margin for improvement is much larger. Therapeutic horticulture. University of Florida Press pointed out that it has been used since the 19th century. Past studies have shown that gardening can help improve the mental health of people who have existing medical conditions or challenges. Our study shows that healthy people can also experience a boost in mental well-being through gardening, says Charles Guy, principal investigator for the study from the University of Florida. 32 women aged 26 to 49 participated either in the art group involving printmaking or drawing, or the gardening group, which involved learning how to sow seeds, transplant different kinds of plants, taste even edible plants. Both gardening and art activities involving learning, planning, creativity, and physical movement, they are both used therapeutically in medical settings. This makes them more comparable, scientifically speaking, than, for example, gardening and bowling or gardening and reading, Guy explained.
I think I'd rather have bowling.
Yeah. I went bowling the other day, and if you have the bumpers up, no stress at all.
What kind of baby do you take me for?
I'm just saying, I went bowling the other day. We had bumpers, had a great time.
Yeah?
Yep. Both groups demonstrate a small increase in mood, with gardening improving feelings of anxiety a more so than art. Both also demonstrated dose dependency. The more they gardened or drew, the greater the perceived therapeutic effect. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I can say that, like, honestly, truly, I've spent a little bit of time in the garden just pulling stuff out of my grandma's garden growing up so she could make stuff for me, right?
Fair.
And I never got in an argument with a tomato plant. I remember digging up potatoes, and then, like, sometimes when you're digging up potatoes, you actually stab one of them in half or something. You're like, oh, you think you're in trouble,
Yeah.
but it's fine.
Yeah.
Down south, they don't care.
Yeah.
God made dirt don't hurt, you eat it. Right?
That's
Why
fair.
gardening might have this effect is anyone's guess. Humans have been interacting on a very sophisticated level with plants for millions of years. Long into our previous evolutionary forms, the development of horticulture and agriculture changed our society forever, and studies have shown that the leaf green as a color is soothing to the mind. Whatever the reason may be, the participants not only said how much they enjoyed the gardening courses, but how they plan to continue growing long past the end of the study.
Everyone's out here like, listen, this plant is mine. Take it back with me. I'm gonna put it in my garden.
Take it back.
Not gonna do anything about it.
Take it
all
back. Taking it back.
I'm taking it back.
There you go. So going from a nice, calming, soothing, therapeutic story, something far more intense.
Yeah.
I have another hero story,
Okay.
and I just love the hero stories.
All or nothing day.
I feel like the news always gives you the bad news. This is like potentially bad, but turned out amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of one hero.
One hero.
One hero.
One hero.
One man can make a difference. I don't want to quote Knight Rider, but I just did. This 25-year-old runs into a burning home and saves 5 kids. And then he gets rewarded with $500,000 and a new lease on life. A man is being honored by the city as a hero after he charged into a house that turned into a raging inferno to rescue a young girl. A late-night argument with his girlfriend had a disgruntled 25-year-old Nicholas Bostic out driving aimlessly around his town when he saw the house completely engulfed in flames. So he's driving around at night because he got in a fight with his girlfriend.
And he just comes across this house burning to the ground.
I mean,
What's your hero origin
you feel
story?
like, what's your hero origin story? That's a good story.
That's not bad.
But now I'm thinking of all the times that I've avoided conflict, avoided fights, avoiding things. Now it's like somebody makes me upset. It's like, let's go driving. I'm going to put on my cape. I'm going to get on my bicycle.
Put on my cape, I'm going to put on my mask.
I'm going to put on my
Going
bicycle
driving.
right around town. Running inside His cries allegedly woke 4 children and a family friend from their sleep. The oldest of 5, 18-year-old Siona Barrett had gathered together her siblings and prepared to go down the stairs from the second floor where they encountered Nick. That reminds me of a funny meme.
Maybe not the best time. Which one?
Let me think here.
This is fine. I'm
Okay.
in danger.
Okay. The meme it says, you could just thank me for breakfast in bed instead of all this asking, who are you and why are you
That
in my
is
house?
fair. That is fair. You could just give me a thanks instead of all
Yeah,
of this.
right,
Who are
right,
you?
right,
Why are
right.
you? How did you get in my house?
So she's coming down the stairs and sees Nick. Hey, this guy's in my house, right? Once outside, however, Siona told Bostic that her 6-year-old sister wasn't with them. Running inside through the back door, Bostic described the fire in the Lafayette, Indiana home as having created a black lagoon of smoke on the ground floor. But after checking all the bedrooms on the second floor, he still had not found the youngster. He moved to a window to exit the house when he heard the child's cry coming from downstairs. Wright City reporters who spoke with the rescuer, Nicholas, had an inner dialogue with himself. He knew he was there to get that child out, and even though the smoke and the fire downstairs frightened him, he was not going to quit. Wrapping a t-shirt around his mouth, he crawled through the blackness, following the sounds of the girl's cries. Then he found her, proceeded back through the smoke, ran upstairs, smashed a window with his bare hand, and jumped down onto the lawn where a fire rescue team had arrived and was beginning to put out the fire. Bostic suffered first-degree burns, a serious cut on his arm, and smoke inhalation, and would be airlifted to the hospital. The child, completely unharmed.
That's the face of a dude who knows what he did.
That is awesome.
That right there. That is a man who's like, yeah, it's me.
Most people wouldn't do that, and I can tell you that honestly.
Most
truly.
people also-
Most people would not do that.
Don't go driving around after having an argument with their girlfriend.
They make her
That's-
drive around.
Yeah, that's
out.
the one thing that's what sets him apart. His girlfriend gave him the energy and adrenaline he needed.
Yeah. Okay. That's well, a GoFundMe was made for Bostic's medical bills by his cousin, which shattered a $100,000 goal by amassing $556,000 for a hero whom the city plans to honor in the next Lafayette Aviators minor league baseball game. Bostic says the experience has brought him a new lease on life that has him ready to play football or drift a sports car. Indeed, he spent enough time in that burning house to have several lives flash before his eyes.
You know, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Pretty cool. We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I'm going to give a mentionable, I guess I'll do.
Honorable
I'm
mention.
going to do an honorable mention.
All right, who are we mentioning?
The Dutch are reducing waste by fixing broken objects with an online barter network.
What?
And so you can see up there, they got an old chair. Someone made it into a new chair. You can find out information on something called gilder.org. Hang on, let me go. This is a mention.
Come on.
Okay,
Come on.
it's the Gilder.
The Gilder.
GUILDER.org. Let's go ahead and put this in chat.
Like a guild, like an adventurers guild.
Let's put that in chat.
Just don't put that don't put that period at the end
If
of it.
you're
you'll
good
be
at fixing things like lawnmower motors or something like that, you can go on, fix it, put it on the thing, and you can trade or barter or whatever with other people who need it or whatever, and you can reduce waste.
Dude, I'm gonna own the barter system.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, if anybody out there knows how to fix an iPad, my youngest daughter, for the first time, killed a fly
With the iPad.
with the iPad.
Screen down.
Yep. Heartbroken, of course. But there you go. Hey, she got the fly.
It might not be.
She got the fly.
There's a possibility it's just because I don't know how hard she hit it.
The screen, it comes on, it turns on, but the screen's busted.
Okay, so do you think it's probably a thing to do with the lighting behind the screen?
Yeah. We can probably look it up, but we'll see. This article here I want to talk about because we talked about it earlier. There is a strange pink glow over Victoria, Australia.
You ever seen Ghostbusters 2?
Yes. And a lot of people here had just seen Stranger Things. Oops. Okay, no. So last week, an eerie pink glow lit up the sky above a small town in Australia. That's kind of freaky looking when you see it like there. Right? I mean, it looks like freaky.
The world's
I've actually got another.
strongest
Yeah,
flashlight.
I got another one. Yeah, right. Eerie pink glow lit up the sky above a small town in Australia, sparking mild concerns about an alien invasion. Or at least that the locals had missed the memo of season 5 of Stranger Things being filmed nearby. It was big enough to be seen from miles off, and many residents took the photos. It was very bizarre, says Tammy Suzmowski.
Sure.
I was on the phone to my mom, and my dad was saying the world was ending.
Probably
If she knew the truth about the matter, she might have said it was just the end of time. Because as it turned out, the pink glow was more like a purple haze. Pharmaceutical company Can Group confirmed to the town of Mildura in Victoria that the lights were coming from its local medicinal cannabis facility, where the blackout blinds had been left open. Cannabis plants require different spectrums of light in order to encourage their growth, says Rise Cohen, Senior Communications Manager at Can Group Limited. A red spectrum light is often used. Normally, the facility would have blackout blinds that come down at night and will go in the future to block and will in the future block that glow.
So, could you imagine being next to the building and you're just walking around, boom, giant beams of light shooting out of this building?
Here's another shot, though. So you look at all the purple sky around it, and then that's weird.
Blackout blinds, dude.
That's weird. That's weird. News didn't reach everyone in Mildura immediately, so they were left speculating until the following day. Alexandria Talent described her horses as a little distracted, which is when she noticed, as it got darker, that they were fixated on the purple haze in the distance. The kids' imaginations went wild, and of course the topic of aliens was presented. Talent told The Guardian, "My husband and I were a bit more optimistic." I just had to read that one.
Aliens.
And if we got time for one more, this is actually a pretty neat story.
All right.
This lady here lost her hair battling brain tumor, and her son decided to grow his hair out to make a wig. And you can tell that he actually cares a great deal about her.
That man is 11 feet tall.
I know, right? When an Arizona mom lost her hair during a third brain cancer battle, a shaggy-maned son stepped up, shears in hand, to offer a solution. Growing golden, luscious locks out past shoulder length, he chopped it off to provide a stylish hairpiece for his mom. Melanie Shaha doesn't mind being sick, but she does mind looking sick. For 15 years, you have never known Melanie had a benign cancer tumor on her pituitary gland. 2 successful surgeries in 2003 and 2006 couldn't get rid of the tumor permanently, and in 2017, she was prescribed radiation therapy. 3 months after starting the new treatment, she lost all her hair. Not having hair, you stick out like a sore thumb, and well-meaning people can say things that break your heart, Melanie told Today. However, what started as a joke by Melanie's 27-year-old son, Matt, around the dinner table in 2018 soon became a plan. Matt had recently graduated from a university with a dress code that limited hair length and was looking forward for a bit of time au naturel. He agreed he would grow his hair out to make a wig for his mom, who admittedly attempted to dissuade him as the inches accumulated. And check out this picture. Yeah. Then on March 21st, he chopped it off. 1 foot of hair that the family sent off to Compassionate Creations, a Newport Beach, California hairpiece company that made a headpiece of hair for Melanie. The color is spectacular, and we had it cut and stylized with a hairdresser, she said, adding that it was something special to go through with her son. Matt said, "It looks great on me. It sure fills your emotional cup." So,
I don't know, I think I like him better with long hair.
but I mean,
He's still 7 feet tall, but
that is super, 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 super cool. My last mentionable, beers to biogas.
Excuse me?
Pennsylvania Farm has partnered with a nearby microbrewery to create alternative fuel product with its brewery waste and organic matter. They take all the grain from the beer
Yep.
after they make it, turn it into biogas.
Fair enough.
That's my mentionable. And we'll just stop there because I think we're out of time. Looking forward to next week.
As am I.
I already had like somebody send another article about a dog, I think, stuck in a sewer pipe.
What's with like animals and people stuck in storm drains and whatnot? That's like increasingly common.
It seems increasingly common. I think this one's an adopted dog too, or a
adopted dog.
Not adopted, but
rescued.
Foster. I think it might be foster.
Could you imagine fostering a dog and you're like, well, he went down the storm drain and
yeah. So someone sent that one in. I did have another mentionable. Somebody sent in an article about not napping too much. I'm sorry I didn't get to that. I should have done that one first. I just now thought about it.
Too busy sleeping.
Yeah, too busy sleeping. One more. Let's see here.
One more final shout out.
Give a shout out to Asuka Mikasa and Nina Tella.
Nina Tella.
So, thank you again, Osupa, Alice Wydra, Asuka Miyakasa, wrote my stream deck, Itsuko, Hades Osiris, I Can't Control It, Lurks, Nina Tella, Not a Mr. Beast Contest, Spazzy P 254 Official, Stix Fix, and Underworld Naiad. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you everybody else that's watching. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday on the Good News program. And you guys have any articles that you like to send in, you can join our Discord. Did that flash across the screen?
Yes.
There we go.
Just give it a second because we're on Twitch both ends.
Join our Discord. And you can always message us about all kinds of other things. We love talking and chatting, not necessarily about this, but about anything. And see you next Tuesday. Have a great night.
See ya.